Got it. Got it. So, I mean, with creation and being creative, I think the next thing that we should talk about is like your core values. And if I remember correctly on your website, your core values were prosperity,
Mhm.
impact, equality, generosity, and joy.
Yes.
So I want you to kind of talk about like you could have picked any 5 words, you could have picked any 3 words, you could have picked a 1,000 word. Why did you select those particularly 5 words?
So that was done through a beautiful, so I'm part of a couple of different masterminds. So shout out to my prosperity council mastermind partners. For that one, we meet every quarter. We meet weekly, but then every quarter we do like a deep dive, like a 3-day deep dive into our businesses. And one session was around, hey, let's dial in our mission and vision and values and all of that. And that's where I really got to tap into not only those five, statements of prosperity, impact, um, generosity, joy. I forget the other one. The fifth one,
Quality.
equality. Yeah, absolutely. But also, helping a billion people live financially free lives. Like all of that came through at the same time. And you're right. I could have picked anything. I could have picked anything. But for me, prosperity has a very different definition, I think, than typical for a financial advisor, where it doesn't mean wealth creation to me. Prosperity really means being able to allow what comes to you to flow through you, that it's a measure of not just what you're able to hold on to, but a measure of what you are able to be a good steward of in this lifetime. That as we become more stable with our own finances, as we become again better stewards
Mhm.
of the revenue and the income that flows to us, it helps us expand. It expands our ability to receive. And when we then allow it to flow through, when we see the way that our money impacts others, whether that's employees, your contractors, um, your vendors, right? Like any dollar you spend, any dollar you pay to someone else is then going into their community, going into their economy, right? Then they're going and spending it at their grocery store and supporting that ecosystem, right? Or spending it in their small business community and supporting other families. So the velocity of money, which is actually a technical term, but it is, like your $1 that you pay to someone else has impact more broadly. And so when we see prosperity as not just what is it that I am keeping for myself and sitting on, like a dragon protecting her hoard, right? That's the image that always comes to mind. It's like we're not sitting there guarding our gold or putting it in a vault like Scrooge McDuck. We are allowing it. We are keeping the amounts that
Mhm.
feel joyful, that feel abundant for us, and allowing and understanding how every time we pay someone else, we are creating
Hmm.
more prosperity in the world. So prosperity is a key driver, right? In that definition for both of my businesses.
Hmm.
The other pieces, equality. It's so funny that that one slipped my mind for a second because equality is another highly important aspect to me in being I have been a woman in male dominated spaces all of my career. I also grew up with 3 brothers. So I was the only girl. And that, so I've always been in um, spaces that were not necessarily made to fit me, if you want to put it that way. And so what I have determined, and one of the reasons that I launched X Squared was that originally I wanted to work with female entrepreneurs, like
Mhm.
help us get a leg up and, really support that demographic. But what I noticed as I was talking, and as you know, I'm just being me, I also draw so many like heart-centered, truly generous, kind, amazing men to me as well. And when I stepped back and looked at that, I was like, yeah, I want to help these people. Absolutely. I have no reason not to want to work with anyone who fits that niche for me of wanting to create a business that does good in the world.
Mm,
And when I see other people that want to create equality, whether that's gender equality, racial equality, socioeconomic equality, education opportunities, you know, there's so many ways that we can see equality that we want to that everyone has their own piece of the
mm,
puzzle that matters, right? And I want to support other entrepreneurs who also want to create more equality in the world. So yeah, that one's really impactful for me. And then I'm going to speak to that because that folds in impact
mhm,
as well, right? Like that is right in there, that we are creating businesses that will have impact beyond just our own selves. Um, and joy is the other one that I really want to talk about, because that's the piece. If we can be, I'm going to say it again, in our zone of genius,
mhm,
it's really important to me to help people focus in on the thing that they are the best at, that they love the most, where they are in their zone of joy and genius. Is another way that I say that. That light, when you're just you can see it. That's like contagious. People want to be around someone when they are passionate about what they're talking about. And so when we bring that joy from within ourselves, that is the example that does, like, it's the match. It's the match that lights the other matches,
mhm,
right? And allows other people to be in their joy. So are we looking at ways that we can create more joy in our lives, and really accept that and be that, and love to be joyful rather than, um, just rather than pretending like it doesn't matter, because it does matter.